Hello everyone, my name is Nikolai and today we're making an interview with Nizar, my friend and student from the UK. And we are going to ask him some questions about Russian and how to master Russian and any foreign language in general. Привет, Низар.
Привет, Коля.
Как дела?
Хорошо, большое спасибо.
Низар сейчас в России, мы в России. Низар, откуда ты?
Я живу в Лондоне, но моя мать румынка и мой отец арабский, он из Йемена.
Хорошо. Ты любишь Россию? Ты любишь русский язык?
Да, очень люблю. Да.
Почему ты изучаешь русский?
Потому что я очень люблю русскую литературу. Да.
Хорошо. So we will switch to English and I'm going to ask some questions. Nizar,
Yes.
in general, what do you think about Russian language?
I personally think the easiest thing about Russian language is to learn the alphabet. I think they're very distinguishable, so I think this makes it very easy for
That's
people.
important.
Very important to pick up the language at the beginning.
Okay, so you mean it's easy to read?
Easy to read, yes. So the letters are very different, so then it's easy to kind of see the letters and understand what letters you're looking at.
Do you remember how much time did it take you to master reading Cyrillic alphabet?
I would say about a month and a half. Да.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
Okay. But he learned it before we started our classes.
Да, that's
Right?
true. Это правда, да.
The second question, well, how are you learning Russian right now?
At the moment, I'm taking classes with you. So we have our online classes 3 times a week on Skype, and you give me exercises, and you also give me books and exercises to carry
Yeah,
out.
we're physically together right now.
Right now,
but-
да.
Yeah, but normally Nizar is in London and I am in Russia.
Yes.
Well, that's good. What do you like in learning and what do you dislike?
What I like about learning is when you're frustrated about, putting things together, and then after some time, when we have our conversations, I'm able to understand what you said and I'm able to reply, and that really
You like
feels.
that?
I like that. That really feels well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so another thing is Nizar is trilingual.
Yes.
So as he said, his mother tongue is
Yes.
English because he was raised in UK. His mother is Romanian and he also speaks Romanian and he speaks Arabic. Tell us a little bit about this trilingual experience. Like, what languages do you speak? Do you also read them or not?
Yes. I could read and write Romanian. So with my mom, I speak Romanian. I could read and write it at a basic level. With my dad, I speak Arabic, but I can't read or write Arabic, unfortunately. But speaking Arabic is not a problem for me.
Have you ever tried to write Arabic?
Yes, I have. Many years ago, I used the book and I began understanding the basics of it. And this is why I was able to tell the comparison between Russian and Arabic.
Is it easier to learn to read Russian than Arabic?
I think so, because the letters are very distinguishable. With Arabic, it's a bit harder to distinguish what letters you're looking at. So I think that's an advantage with Russian.
Because as far as I know, I was
Yes.
learning Arabic a little bit. There are like 4 ways of writing one
Yes,
letter,
that's
right?
right.
And in Russian, it's only one, and it
Yes.
also sounds pretty much similar, wherever it is found in the sentence. What about Romanian?
Romanian, to me, is more of English alphabets with maybe a slight variation. Learning, I've never learnt Romanian. I've just been able to read it because, again, it's very similar to English, the letters, and because I know what the words are just from experience.
Is there any similarity in vocabulary?
Between Romanian and Russian, do you mean, or?
Maybe Russian and English.
Between Russian and English, I'm not sure actually.
Oh,
to
sorry,
be fair.
Russian and English. I said Romanian and English.
Romanian and English. No, they're slightly different in the sense that, again, you have masculine, feminine, and neutral, I think, neuter. But in English, you don't have those. So I think it does differ slightly in that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the Romanian language has about 20 plus or like 30% of Slavic origin vocabulary. Do you feel it? Well, for example, with your Romanian background,
Yes.
do you feel it helped you somehow to learn the Russian language?
I'm smiling because, for example, smetana is the same thing in Romania as well, and borщ is the same thing, and tramvai and trolleybus. So when I hear these words, to me.
And the easiest, shortest positive word, yes.
Da as well.
Da.
So da is Romanian also, and it's Slavic. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
quite cool.
So, and also English, right?
Yes.
So you were raised
Yes.
in the UK.
That's right.
And you think in English, right? So it's your
That's
mother
right.
tongue.
Yes. What I try to do when I'm learning Russian as well is I try to force myself to think in Russian. So, for example, sometimes instead of thinking in my head, what's this, I'll try to think, что это, in my head, and slowly start to think more in
You
Russian.
try to say it out loud, or you try to think in?
Mostly in my head, because I try to, when I say it out loud, then it becomes a lot easier if I've practiced it in my head. But yeah, mostly in my head, try to
Okay.
think in the language.
Nizar, could you
Yeah.
tell us, please, like, what is your recommendation? You know, because you three languages you speak fluently, and
Yes.
actually it's your mother tongue languages. So, what do you recommend people who are trying to be fluent in
Yes.
Russian?
The first thing I would say, and this is from my own experience, is never to try to rush learning the language. So for example, learn the foundations and learn the basics really well before you try to move on, because everything after that is built off the foundations. And I think sometimes I have this want to progress really
Do you mean
fast.
grammatical foundation or lexical or like general?
General. So I
Okay.
think when you're learning with your teacher, make sure that you master the basics first before you continue to learn anything more advanced. I think it really helps moving forward. So I think that's very important. And I think it's important to have goals as to why you're learning the language. So my goal is to be able to read the Russian language, read some journal articles in Russian, science, philosophy.
You didn't mention traveling. You're traveling to Russia.
And traveling, yes. I want to be
Yeah.
able to speak to people, not only at the level of good year this and good year that, but also to kind of exchange ideas.
Communicate.
Communicate is very important. Some people, for example, their goals might be to, just want to be able to find directions, and that's fine. But I think when you have a goal as to why you're learning the language, it helps you approach it a bit differently. So I think that's also a very important thing to have goals.
Okay, yeah, so I totally agree with you.
Yes.
Motivation is very important. That's
Very
what
important.
I'm always telling to my students.
Yes.
So, Nizar, thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
the
Kolya.
interview, for
Thanks for the time.
your visit. It was my pleasure to see you here.
Sure,
And
спасибо.
thank you very much for watching. I think this was very interesting. See you next time.
See you, пока.